Saving the Internet's past, the rush to preserve pre-AI content. Imagine a world where the authenticity of everything we read online is questionable. This isn't science fiction, it's becoming our reality with the rise of AI chatbots. As artificial intelligence continues to evolve, it leaves behind a digital footprint that blurs the line between human creativity and machine output. But here's the million-dollar question: should we preserve the Internet as it existed before AI became ubiquitous? Or are we already too late? The integration of AI into everyday content creation has sparked what many see as a historical turning point. On one side of the debate are those who believe we must urgently archive the uncontaminated Internet, the web as it existed prior to widespread AI influence. These advocates argue that preserving this era is essential for maintaining an accurate record of human thought and achievement. On the other hand, some experts insist that capturing AI-generated outputs is equally important, as these artifacts will allow future generations to study how AI evolved and shaped society. Rajiv Pant, a seasoned entrepreneur and former chief technology officer for major publications like the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal, warns of the risks posed by AI to information integrity. He describes the challenge as a form of digital archaeology, emphasizing the growing urgency of addressing this issue. Since ChatGPT made its debut, I've been grappling with this problem, Pant explains. There's currently no scalable method to reliably separate human-written content from AI-generated material. And let's be clear, this isn't just an abstract concern for academics. It impacts critical fields such as journalism, law, and scientific research. Graham-Cumming, a prominent figure in cybersecurity at Cloudflare, draws an intriguing parallel between pre-AI data and low-background steel. For those unfamiliar, low-background steel refers to metal forged before nuclear testing introduced radioactive particles into the atmosphere. Because of its purity, it remains invaluable for sensitive applications in medicine and science. Similarly, Graham-Cumming argues that data produced before late 2022, when ChatGPT emerged, is uniquely pristine, free from the subtle distortions AI introduces. To preserve this pure data, Graham-Cumming launched a platform called lowbackgroundsteel.ai. The site serves as a repository for resources untainted by AI interference, including a complete snapshot of Wikipedia from August 2022. Why is this significant? Recent studies reveal that roughly 1 in 20 new Wikipedia pages appears to have been written with AI assistance. This statistic underscores how rapidly AI is reshaping even trusted platforms. There was a time when humans created everything independently, Graham-Cumming reflects. Then came the moment when we began relying heavily on AI tools. Whether you view this shift as contamination or augmentation depends on your perspective. But either way, it marks a pivotal transition, one worth documenting. Meanwhile, Mark Graham, director of the Wayback Machine at the Internet Archive, offers a contrasting viewpoint. His organization has been meticulously archiving the public Internet since 1996, amassing up to 160 terabytes of new data daily. Given the sheer scale of this effort, Graham questions whether creating separate archives for pre-AI content is practical. Instead, he proposes focusing on cataloging AI outputs themselves. Graham envisions a project where researchers pose thousands of questions to chatbots each day and store their responses. Interestingly, he plans to use AI to assist in this monumental task, a kind of recursive archiving process. By doing so, he hopes to capture the dynamic nature of AI systems, which often provide slightly different answers to the same query over time. You ask a chatbot a specific question today, and you receive an answer, Graham explains. Ask the same question tomorrow and chances are the response will vary, even if only subtly. This variability highlights the fluidity of AI behavior and raises fascinating questions about its long-term implications. Despite his efforts to preserve pre-AI data, Graham-Cumming stresses that he is not anti-AI. In fact, he believes safeguarding human-created content can ultimately enhance AI development. Feeding low-quality AI-generated material back into training datasets can lead to a phenomenon known as model collapse, where successive iterations of AI become less effective. Avoiding this outcome is crucial for ensuring AI remains a valuable tool rather than a liability. And this is the part most people miss. While concerns about AI contamination dominate discussions, there's also immense potential for innovation. As Graham-Cumming muses, at some point, one of these AIs might stumble upon something truly groundbreaking, something no human has ever conceived. Perhaps it will solve a complex mathematical theorem, or pioneer a revolutionary concept. Would we still call that contamination? So where do you stand in this debate? Is preserving the pre-AI internet a noble endeavor, or should we embrace the inevitable fusion of human and machine creativity? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's dive deeper into this pressing issue together. Decoding AI slop, defeating low-quality content. Imagine scrolling through pages of online content, only to find yourself drowning in a sea of repetitive phrases, exaggerated language, and outright misinformation. This growing issue, driven by artificial intelligence, is what experts are calling AI slop. It's not just annoying, it's reshaping how we consume information on the internet. But here's where it gets controversial. Is this phenomenon an inevitable side effect of technological progress, or can we actually fight back against it? Let's dive into the details. Martin Keene, a master inventor at IBM, recently opened a discussion with a bold statement that nonsense sentence was an example of low-quality AI-generated content, commonly referred to as AI slop. His explanation went beyond mere criticism. He broke down the problem into its core components, offering insights into why AI slop happens and how we can address it. For those unfamiliar with the term, AI slop refers to poorly constructed text produced by large language models, LLMs, often riddled with stylistic flaws and factual inaccuracies. At first glance, AI slop might seem like nothing more than awkward phrasing or overly formal language. Think about those redundant expressions like "it is important to note that" or convoluted structures such as "not only, but also." These quirks make reading feel tedious, but they're just the tip of the iceberg. Beneath the surface lies a deeper issue. AI-generated content often lacks substance. LLMs frequently produce verbose paragraphs filled with unnecessary words, bloating simple ideas into lengthy explanations. Even worse, these systems sometimes generate false information, presenting made-up facts as if they were true. This tendency, known as hallucination, is particularly dangerous because it tricks readers into trusting unreliable material. The scale of the problem becomes even clearer when you consider automated content farms. These operations churn out vast amounts of AI-generated articles, flooding the web with generic, unoriginal content. The result? A digital landscape cluttered with noise, making it harder for users to find genuinely valuable information. So why does AI slop exist in the first place? To understand this, we need to look under the hood of how LLMs work. At their foundation, these models rely on transformer neural networks designed to predict the next word in a sequence. While this token-by-token generation process is impressive from a technical standpoint, it prioritizes statistical patterns over meaningful communication. In other words, the model doesn't aim to create concise, insightful text, it simply generates what seems statistically likely based on its training data. Training data itself plays a huge role in shaping the quality of AI outputs. If the datasets used to train these models contain repetitive phrases, errors, or low-quality writing, guess what? The AI will reproduce those same flaws. Moreover, the reinforcement learning techniques used to fine-tune models, often involving feedback from humans, can inadvertently narrow the range of acceptable outputs. Over time, this leads to model collapse, where the system produces rigid, formulaic responses that lack creativity and depth. Now, here's the part most people miss: solving the AI slop problem isn't solely up to developers. Users have a critical role to play too. By crafting precise prompts, individuals can guide LLMs toward better results. For instance, specifying the desired tone, target audience, or even providing examples of preferred writing styles can help nudge the AI in the right direction. Iteration is key. Instead of settling for the first draft, users should engage in a back-and-forth dialogue with the model, refining the output until it meets their needs. On the development side, there's plenty of room for improvement as well. One major step involves curating higher quality training data. As Keen pointed out, if the training set includes a lot of low-quality web text, the model will inevitably learn those patterns. Developers must filter out spammy SEO content and sources with poor grammar before using them to train or fine-tune models. Another promising strategy is enhancing reward optimization processes. Instead of focusing solely on metrics like helpfulness, developers should incorporate objectives such as brevity, accuracy, and originality. Finally, integrating retrieval systems like Retrieval Augmented Generation, RAG, offers a powerful solution to combat hallucinations. By allowing models to pull verified information from external documents, RAG ensures that AI-generated content remains grounded in reality. This approach could revolutionize how we trust and interact with AI tools in the future. But let's pause for a moment and ask ourselves, are we doing enough to tackle AI slop? Or are we complacent, accepting mediocrity as the cost of innovation? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think stricter regulations are needed to ensure high-quality AI content? Or do you believe the responsibility lies entirely with users and developers? The conversation starts now.